I have a question to ask you.
Yes.
I do my fingerprints already. I do my biometric. No, I do my fingerprint and I do my medical. I want to know if it's safe for me to travel on the road.
On the road, you have a pending
Yes.
adjustment. It should be pretty safe.
No, I don't get any answer yet from them. I'm just waiting for them to answer me
But you have a
for my,
pending. You have
for
a
my interview.
You have a pending adjustment of status.
Yes.
It should be pretty safe, but they still have the right to put you in deportation until you get a green card. But all else equal, you should be okay. All else equal, you should be okay to travel within the United States. You shouldn't have a problem, but travel with your receipt for your adjustment. But just because you have an adjustment application pending doesn't mean you can't run across some cruel immigration officer who puts you in deportation.
Okay.
If you're in a bona fide marriage with a spouse, even if they put you in deportation, ultimately, certainly if I'm your lawyer or Bernstein your lawyer, you're not going to get deported. But you don't want to go through that process.
No.
With all that being said, nobody can give you a blank. It's only safe to travel in America when you have a U.S. passport, as far as immigration is concerned. Okay.
Okay.
But
yeah.
short of that, I can tell you, I'm 99.5% certain you're okay to travel with the United States. I can never give you a 100% because you run into crazy immigration officers sometimes.
Okay.
All right, but enjoy your life. That's what I'm telling you. Go travel.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Brad.
All right.
Same
Okay,
to you.
you're welcome.
Thanks.
All right.
My wife is here on the K-1 visa. Got here November 2018. We already did the fingerprint, the biometric.
Right.
And now we're scheduled for, I guess, the green card interview.
Great.
It's shown at the USCIS site for June 26th.
Great.
Awaiting.
So what's your question?
Hello?
Yeah, what's your question?
My question is, ICE came to my house. I have no idea.
You're a U.S. citizen, and what did an ICE officer leave a card? Who saw them?
Yeah, they
Who
left
saw
a
them?
card.
Who saw them?
They left a card. I'm not sure who called them.
I said, what did they say? What were they there to investigate the bona fides of your marriage? That would be you.
No, it was about the I-94 being expired.
But you got married and filed an adjustment.
Yeah, we got married before 90 days, and
there would be no reason for them to come. That makes no sense then.
Yeah, so I was scared for my wife because I was at work.
Where's she from?
She's from Nigeria.
That makes no sense to me. And this is in Dallas?
Yes.
Okay. When did ICE come?
ICE came, I believe, July 2nd or 3rd.
Okay, and so she was not there. Who saw them? You did?
No, she was there. She was at home. I was at work.
Okay, so what did they say to her?
She was like, "Oh, we noticed you're here on a K-1 visa, and did you get married? Did you get married before 90 days?" She said yes. They left a card, told her to come to the ICE station, I guess, to the office the week after, and there was kind of threat at her that like she's gonna get arrested if we don't show up or get detained.
And did you go?
Yeah, we went.
And what happened?
And they took her passport and make a fingerprint and make copies and say we have to return next month. And my wife told me that they're going to release her passport. Okay. So it's still confusing to me because we're doing everything legally.
It's confusing to me too. I don't know the answer. The only thing I could think of off the top of my head is they had no record that you got married and they were coming to investigate because, maybe this woman's here past 90 days and you didn't get married. It's my only guess. I have no idea. But it sounds to me like you're doing everything right. It also sounds to me that you need a lawyer to figure out what's going on and get this straightened out for you. All right? So I don't have the answer, but we're going to call immigration if I'm your lawyer, and we're going to figure this out. So hold on one second, all right?
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. So last thing I heard was 2001, he has a conviction for drugs. And 2008, he tried to re-enter after a prior deportation. What was the drug conviction for? You told me it was felony. Was it marijuana, cocaine? Was it just simple possession? Was it possession with intent to distribute? What are we talking about?
Yeah, he was at the wrong place, wrong time. Possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver, yes.
Okay. And you said that he came here when he was 7 years old.
Yes, sir.
And was his mother or father a U.S. citizen before he was 18?
I believe so, which they're now gone, yes.
Both mother and father were citizens before 18?
They were citizens when they came over and got their papers taken care of. But yes, before he was 18.
Okay. So if that is the case, then the United States deported an American citizen. Because if he had his green card and was living in the United States before the age of 18 as a green card holder, and both his mother and father were U.S. citizens, then in fact he is a U.S. citizen by operation of law. He didn't need to get a U.S. passport. He didn't need to do anything. He's in fact a U.S. citizen. And if that is the case, then the U.S. government unlawfully deported an American citizen for 20 years.
Wow.
Twice.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, were they supposed to get proof of that information, or did they?
The U.S. government has the obligation to figure out whether or not they're deporting an American citizen or somebody who has a green card. It's the U.S. government's obligation to do it, and they didn't do it. If this is the case, now what we can do, and by the way, your father unfortunately is not the only person this ever happened to. Happens a lot.
Wow.
Okay,
right.
Happens a lot.
And Brad, he worked here his whole life. He has Social Security. He paid the 50 years he was here.
What we do is this, okay? We request from immigration proof of each of the parents' citizenships through what's called the Freedom of Information Act request. We get proof that he had a green card before he was 18, also through Freedom of Information Act request. We submit the Freedom of Information Act request and his birth certificate to the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. They will give him a passport within 2 weeks, whether he's been deported 2 times or 10 times. He will come back as an American citizen with a U.S. passport, and he will get to, if in fact all of these facts are true, and after he comes back, he will get to live here for the rest of his life, collect his Social Security for the rest of his life, and he's going to have a damn good lawsuit against the U.S. government for deporting an American citizen for 20 years.
That is good to know.
Right, so hold on 1 second, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I came here last year and overstayed my visitor's visa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently doing like under the table job, basically.
Okay.
So my boss asked me to file for a tax registration number because when she's filing taxes, she wants to show proof that she's actually paying someone to take care of her child.
Okay.
Now, I'm in the process of getting married to adjust my status. I want to know if doing this is going to affect it any at all.
No. Get a tax ID number, file your taxes. When you get married, you're going to file an adjustment. You're going to get your work permit with your Social Security, and then you can go contact the IRS and say, here's my Social Security number. All of those tax money that I paid into, please credit it to this Social Security number. You're following the law to the best of your ability. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, so once I get this tax ID number, I have to pay the taxes?
Well, somebody's got to pay the taxes. They're not going to be able to withhold taxes on a tax ID number, so they're going to have to give you a 1099. And then you're going to have to pay a tax return.
They're planning on filing a 1099 at the end of the year.
And then you would have to file your tax returns based on that 1099 and pay your own taxes.
But if I'm undocumented, how would I file tax return?
Just because you're undocumented doesn't mean you can't file a tax return. Just means you're
I have no idea.
Okay, so it just means you're not legal to work. Now, how stupid the law is they say just because you're not legal to work, but you do work, that doesn't mean you can't pay taxes. You're still supposed to pay taxes, whether you're legal to work or not. U.S. government takes your taxes either way. That's what the law says. So that's why you get the tax ID number. Now, it costs a lot of money. When you get a 1099, you're not getting taxes withheld. It costs a lot of money to file this tax return. Okay, but you're following the law. What I would suggest you do is this, okay? You're in Brooklyn, I'm in New York. Let's make a consultation so you understand everything, okay? So hold on 1 second.
Recently, I got my 2 years green card, and I'm applying for a removing condition on the I-751.
Right.
But 2 months ago, I went to a doctor, and they gave me the medical marijuana card, and I didn't know there was a crime under federal law. I used it for like 2 months right now, and I don't know if it's going to affect me for removing condition or a long way in the citizenship.
Well, it's only going to affect you for one of 2 reasons. Well, if you're removing the conditions, you don't have to take a medical exam. So there's no doctor who's going to say you're abusing drugs. And unless you are convicted of a crime of using marijuana, it shouldn't affect you. So
okay, but I was convicted. I was charged, not convicted, for possession under 30 grams. That was the only charge I've ever had.
You were charged but not convicted. Is it because the case is still?
I took the diversion program.
Then you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so it's not going to affect me in my citizenship, or they're not going to ask about it, or my state won't let them know that I'm using medical marijuana?
Those are three different things. One, it affects your citizenship because you got to show good moral character, but that should not cause a problem with good moral character. Two, they're absolutely going to ask for it because they're going to ask for every arrest. When I say don't worry about it, what I mean is you will get to keep your green card. You'll be able to travel with your green card. You're not deportable because you entered the diversion program. And I don't believe using medical marijuana means that you're a person of poor moral character. So I think overall you're fine. But it's different between me saying you're fine and they will never ask. Of course they're going to ask. But you're on the right side of everything.
Yeah, since I didn't know and the doctor recommended it to me, so I was just following my doctor's order.
Correct. So it doesn't make you a person of poor moral character and you don't have a criminal record.
Okay, even this stuff is going online. They're saying it's bad. They will count it as a crime or stuff like that. It's not true?
It's not true, but hold on one second.
I did my N400 and I'm supposed to go for an interview. However, I live in Atlanta. They send me to Alabama.
That's weird.
For the interview.
But did you do your citizenship from Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay, so I think you got to call immigration and say, there's a mistake. I don't live in Alabama. I live in Atlanta.
I did, and I called them, and what they told me was that it's so much going on here, so much they're so
backed up.
full here, with backed up, right? So they're shipping to the nearest.
So do you want to go to Alabama or you want to go to Atlanta? Because if you want to get your citizenship over with, then fly to Alabama and do it. If not, then tell them it's not fair for me to go to Alabama and I want to reschedule in Atlanta. I mean, you could do that. It's out of jurisdiction. It's up to you.
Okay. But it's nothing fishy about it other than...
Well, it's a little fishy. It's a little fishy, but maybe that's what they're doing now.
Okay.
You're the first I have ever heard that somebody who lives in the city of Atlanta gets their citizenship in Alabama. Have I ever heard that before? No. They're scheduling you for Alabama. To me, it sounds like it's a mistake, but then you told me you called immigration. They said, no mistake. We're just shuffling our work around, and we're sending you to Alabama because they have an open slot there. So what I'm saying is, okay, it sounds fishy, but that's what they told you, then it's okay. Go to Alabama, do your citizenship. But if you don't want to, then I would fight it out and do it in Atlanta, but you're going to wait a long time.
Okay.
So my opinion is... My opinion is there's times to fight, there's times not to fight. It's not a time to fight. Go do your citizenship and get it over with.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Because I heard you say all the time that them people who answer the phone don't know what they're saying.
They don't.
Most of the time.
They don't. They don't. It's very true. And you may very well show up to your interview in Alabama and the immigration officer says to you, what the hell are you doing in Alabama? You live in Atlanta. I'm not going to do this interview. We're shipping it back to Atlanta. I don't know. I mean, I didn't do it, but I would certainly go on the interview in Alabama and hope all goes well.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.